Okay, I was here from Sassy movie. I'll call Passion Copessa by Tattoo TV. Send an first time. Let's also be subscribing to Tattoo TV. Be like, you'll be commenting. Away your comment section. Use our back clicking the notification button for more news updates. See, I know. The case of Forson and the debut at Tattoo TV. So, and then majority nipa bebre na enemy air so about this particular case, the ambulance saga at Tattoo TV. So, the person me born the tougher in English. Rebecca said me be summarizing a crabby, then I semi or near the account. So, in 2022. And the deputy former financial minister Forson, Dr. Kizo Forson, Ghana for time Tsikata Sammy 2.37 euros at the man say on fan code buy non fan confa ambulances in Ghana. Na ambulances now on fan Ghana na ebusia for was no 200 ambulances in the Ghana, but ebe train Forson the 20 ambulances per and by na 20 no emu 10 and na ye papa na emu 10 na kano de we beka say oh nka wa fa maka anke in the same way ekoye say nipa bebre hu bon sai say we mu Richard Dopper on a representative member for the C company would Dubai. And he has a way a cuisine so and then she can't be a fan and say nipa be breeding any bobo boy and then Ghana form we say and I say even the states who say yes I see 2.37 euros no a sumbo intimate fama nipa bako and nipa mienu na a first accused Dr. Forson the third accused Richard Dopper na omumi anyway and a case no ejina almost and the presiding judge your friend of Justice Saribuchi ono and it's not same way so but ono or your appeals court judge but Sisiano or it's not same way so as a high court judge, okay, and Sisiano and some no aqua bebre and then same way trials bebre aqua afa ho attorney general ye boadami to say same way on fun easy e bi kra ba bontin be ka say that particular case we attorney general on so no penny baby ntina because den Forson ebewi ni and I say obefa case we obedi nkunim ewo case we mu and then attorney general on the other hand ono say there be on paba and then secret audio being so as a babonte na sa secret audio na babonte no it was between Justice Yoni Kolindi or Justice for the Supreme High Court, the apex court in Ghana, and then Richard Dopper, the third accused is also a cousin Justice Yoni Kolindi ni cousin and the third accused Richard Dopper. And then attorney general san conform me sorry and I say money was audio na babonte and then audio was like Justice Yoni Kolindi per se ono ani cousin the third accused Richard Dopper and come for crime be so na ka case we teen tone time to say asem de na asem ko babontin kwa say says Forson akwakopa yankasa attorney general acho enso ankwankosiaga. So any case through the processes the trials are causing no ababe to ene and the Tattoo TV for metiha a me bom commode do na any case and say the third accused for say oni NDC for ni nam ni no this case akwakoye say the NDC and the state because state ni sika eno mafedi and then NDC for say any state ni sika mo sika na also muchia and I say was on consa in the case in gusu air console and then the third accused Richard Dopper for Endrada court equishia na court equishia no Richard Dopper am NDC for papa and say NDC for ye especially the national communication director for the NDC party Sammy Jefi. This or man court trial court ya no ma fair press conference. But that day, na ye Ghana phone now one say, oh what thing NDC for because and now you majority of the NDCs courts so but or man ye press conference. Yeah, this shows say the third accused mobile kwamamo. Just in some of the back courts and in na na butafo na yentro and then ɛyɛ nsɛm a ɔbɛkeka yɛ ne nyinaa no eduru baabi asɛ ɔpɛ sɛ oyi ne ho firi NDC fo ni asɛ ɔpɛ sɛ ɔde ne ho ka NDC fo no kyɛ nsɛm na akɔyɛ bebree na mekasa ɛnso ɛyɛ ayɛ tenten eti ka me ho ne yɛkɔtie nsɛm ahodoɔ a ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ yɛ man Ghana ma sɛ but before that no mɛsrɛ sɛ ɔbɛsubscribe to ɛyɛ Tattoo TV ɔbɛlike ɔbɛcomment ɛwɔ yɛ comment section wi nso abɛclick on the notification button for more news updates mesrɛ ɛmo a remfi so yi so abɛhyɛ ama afoforo sɛ bɛrɛ so bi hu ne ɛkɔ so ɛwɔ yɛ man Ghana ma sɛ especially the ambulance saga.
Half of minority MPs in parliament, they were there at the court to solidarize with Dr. Tzikata Sammy, Richard Japa, and the NDC fraternity. In as usual, the Nanko be here say after court proceedings, press conference change besa akoso. Nanka Johnson Asiedun Ketia, the choir master, and after the chairman of all propaganda, Sabi Jamfi, abeke commons, but ye pon court to noa na shim obi adwane. It is because lawyer Paul Adomo Chichrimwa and Komoa na ekoso court ne say the NDC feels being deceived by Richard Japa. Edientia and the BBPM court. All along, WhatsApp messages between Japa and the Attorney General, and number one thing, just 4. The NDC has a privilege of knowing 14 WhatsApp messages between Japa and the Attorney General. And Omuko PM Kota say a Yamako 68. Adiana huni a mind this phone say Japa dada omuni. Court to Busa Japa say a DNT. And there was 68 WhatsApp messages between you and the Attorney General. Your conversation. Not only 14 out the by. Japa to me being a no catch record. And NDC for say he picked the 14 because Ophelia said no. And then they see you too. Then someone no work out case. Oh you are. And this is also Maboka. Jai. NDC pass supporters a child did say. Dear don't dear. The SCB and Fancho Modia, Richie Japa, deceived them. There were no mobia, one to me and the Dian Fancho. A drew baby crana was said lawyers for Japa objected to the attending of the 68 was a message because Omunim Hori. Yankoni Jinchiri more FM free lawyer Paul Adomochi.
Before we come to this, the questions, the two takeaways, let's get there first. So it's fundamental and you can move on. Yes, thank you. Now, in the second level, we'll have a third level on the text message, but the second level of the argument, it says, Japa claims that Justice Kulendi went all the way to the Attorney General's office during court proceedings to ask the Attorney General to help Japa go home due to complications in the verification of documents used by Japa to secure bail. Now, this is the story, viewers. This is because the matter is in court. The only word I can use to qualify it is interesting. He says, Justice Kulendi, thank you very much for this. Justice Kulendi sitting as a Supreme Court judge on a panel of 5. He's not sitting as a sole judge. And he's not sitting as an additional court of appeal judge. He's sitting as a Supreme Court judge. Panel of 5. He's not the only one on the panel. 5 of them. Japa told the High Court today that while Justice Kulendi was sitting there, he phoned Justice Kulendi and said that whereas he has satisfied bail conditions, it was still being difficult for the people to grant him the bail for him to go home. And he told the court, this also, viewers, please pay attention if you can. He told the court that Justice Kulendi, upon receiving his call, his Japa's call, departed from the bench. He told the court that Justice Kulendi was still robed in the legal way. Look at where the Supreme Court, those of you who don't live in Accra, the distance between the Supreme Court and the Attorney General's office on a weekday by driving is easily 25 minutes. That's the minimum. It could be 45. It could even be an hour, but it's easily 25 minutes. Japa told the court that the sitting Supreme Court judge, whilst sitting on a case, got a phone call from him, Japa, relating to the difficulties of his bail conditions. And the Supreme Court judge left the courts, drove to the Attorney General's office. Here we depict Justice Kulendi and the Attorney General. My graphics guy, cartoon guy, is beautiful, man. That guy does a good job. We call him at 3 o'clock and say, Charlie, can you put a cartoon together? You don't have to say much. Papa, he'll do it. This is what he gave us. Beautiful, fantastic. So Justice Kulendi comes to the Attorney General's office, sits down in this chair. This is the Attorney General with his legs crossed in a blue suit. And then, please, you have to put a tie on Godfrey Dami. He's always wearing a tie. He doesn't do the things that we are doing here. So next time, graphics, put tie on Godfrey Dami, red tie or some black and white disco tie. Kulendi tells Dami that arrange bail for my cousin Jakpa. He's still in the Supreme Court's robe. He climbs up to the 3rd floor of the Attorney General's office, the old office, because of course there's a new office called the Law House. He climbed up to the 3rd floor in his robe. This is what Jakpa told the court. I mean, if you are Jakpa's lawyer, my goodness, what will be going through your head? That the Supreme Court judge stopped the sitting and left the floor, ran to his car, went to the Attorney General's office and told him, grant my cousin Jakpa bail. What do you make of this story, viewers? I don't know. The matter is still in court and is before the next photograph. The matter is still in court and is before the judge. So this is Jakpa in there. This is Jakpa in there. And he's looking for bail. And he says that Kulendi, he makes a phone call to Justice Kulendi, and Justice Kulendi stops his work. I mean, this is what he said. Justice Kulendi stops the work that he's doing, hearing a matter before the Supreme Court. He is still in his red and black robe, goes to Attorney General's office. This is what Jakpa told the court today. We have nothing to say about it, just to say that it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Anyway, now the last part of Jakpa's testimony, which is the most bizarre, is what I told you about. Text messages are 68 text messages that he sent to the Attorney General, and the record shows the Attorney General replied 2 of the 68. He sent 68 messages, Attorney General replied 2. He was asking court that, why do you know, can you confirm that many of the text messages you sent to the Attorney General, he didn't reply, he replied only 2 of them, which had to do with a schedule for you guys to meet. Then he says, oh, he didn't reply because the text message I sent is motivational message. You are an accused person. Every morning you are sending Attorney General motivational message. Is he your friend? Is he your church member? What are you sending motivational message? Do you go to the same church? Are you in the same fellowship? You accused person, third accused. You claim that Attorney General helped you secure bail. Every morning I'm sending him text motivational. I want to see some of those messages. Does it say that give up not, don't despair, move on to the next level. If you fail, you rise again. Good morning, Attorney General. Is that the thing he was doing? Is that guy a member of your church? Mr. Jakpa, this is what he told the court. This is what he told the court today. This is the kind of witness we are dealing with. The guy who can have a 26-minute phone call and produce only 14 minutes. He has 68 messages. He produces 25. Why do you produce 25? That is my own. This is my case. I'm not doing his case for him. So the text messages that will exonerate him, I won't give it to the court. I think that the court will look at it and agree with me. I will give it to the court. All the 68 is about court. Here, 25 gets. That's Jakpa. The same text messages is handed over to the NDC. So you see, I've been telling you that there are some good people in the NDC. When the NDC did a press conference, they were unaware that Jakpa didn't give them all until we came to show it here. So some of them were calling me and saying, where they asked about it is the Jakpa thing. When Johnson said, look at it, so Jakpa, he deceived the NDC chairman and Sammy Jemfi because he didn't give them all the text messages. They thought he had given them all. So the ones that we got, they didn't have. And that's what Jakpa confirmed to the court today. That he gave only 25 text messages out. The audio recording, he put out only 14 of 26 minutes. That's what he did. He picks and chooses. He's not interested in telling the court the whole truth. He's not interested. He's not interested in telling the court the whole truth. It would appear so. I hope he's interested. But it would appear that he's not interested in telling the court the whole truth. I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe he's not. But the way it looks, you have to decide, viewers. And I'm sure that his lordship will decide so that we all know. But the way he does it, well, what can you say? I don't know. I really don't know. You don't know whether you should believe him. You don't know whether you shouldn't believe him. But he says, court, take 25. That's fine. That's okay. Take the 25. Take it. It's fine. Then the Attorney General now says, oh, you are giving the court 25. My lords, I want to bring all 68 so that the court can take the value of it. 68 is the whole truth. It's nothing but the truth. 68, the whole truth. Nothing but the truth. Then lawyers for JACPA, we can't tell whether it's on the instruction of JACPA or it's on their own instincts. We really can't tell because lawyers are usually working on the instructions of clients, but we don't know this one. What happened though is that lawyers for JACPA come out and say, Judge, we will object to your taking the text message from the Attorney General. We will object. That's what the lawyer said. We will object. Now, what is the basis of the obligation of the objection? Then one of the lawyers says that the text message, the typed document that Attorney General is submitting is black and white. In text, some is green and some is white. Why is his own black and white? Viewers, you know the answer to the question that the judge gave? The judge said, but you two, the text message you brought, it was in black and white. So if yours was in black and white, why are you objecting to theirs in black and white? Then the guy says, well, the fact that ours is black and white was accepted doesn't mean that his own should also be accepted. Another lawyer said that, okay, let me study it first. So the court held the matter down and said, okay, let them study it on Thursday. Let's come and hear the objection. If there's no objection, we'll accept it. If there's an objection, we'll hear it and we'll rule upon it. This is what happened in court today. There will be more on Thursday. But you have to remember that Mr. Japa says out of 68,